Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today on Everything AeroPilates. As you can see, it is yet another unboxing, but this will be the last. So I think that'll be 4, maybe 5 total with the 3-cord, if I get the video up. But I wanted to show you this box today. This is a new AeroPilates, and it's new in that the person who originally bought it from QVC did not open it. But then they had to sell it. For whatever reason, they either didn't want it, maybe they just needed the cash, they had to sell it. So I got this at a super discount, like a refurbished customer return price, an amazing price. But the good thing, I wanted to show you an official model, how it would look if it came from HSN and QVC. And you can see right here is the model number. So this is the AeroPilates 554358. It is the model that comes with the pull-up bar, which I'll show you. And the good thing about this is this box is pretty messed up from being shipped from QVC to the owner, and then whatever happened with that to come back to me. This box is pretty messed up. And the good news about that is I am actually going to cut the sides of the box today and slide the unit out this way. And if you do it that way, you're going to save a lot of trouble from the other method that I showed you. We're just standing it up on the side and getting in the box and tipping it up, the unit up, and then you just have to lay it back down. So this is already going to be laid down. We're going to cut the sides of the box and slide it out. But let's go ahead and get started. So you can see this is what your AeroPilates, the new AeroPilates would look like with the straps. And their first ones usually only have these 2 long straps. However, we have a respectful UPS, FedEx person, and they try to take care of your product. So, but they still are heavy. So they're still gonna get jumbled. They're still gonna be hard to maneuver. And you're gonna see this box is designed, and the packaging inside, to really protect your unit. So you're not gonna have to worry as much about it. I'm sure sometimes things do happen. I mean, like you can see this box is pretty, you see all the gashes and stuff? I mean, it is pretty messed up. So and when I was moving it, I heard some jingling. So maybe some screws got loose or whatever. That's probably common if you're buying refurbished or return, because it's been shipped a couple times at least 2 times, and then possibly more. Let's see what's going on in here. Okay. So I'm opening the 4 flaps. Again, I'm going to cut these sides in just a moment, but I'm going to show you what's in here. This is the standard piece of cardboard. Normally I put this at the end of the box, so when I stand up the unit, I would put it at that end. When I stand up the unit, I don't scratch my floors. But I am not going to have to do that today because I'm going to be sliding it out. Here is the trampoline, and I'm going to do a separate video about the rebounder, this particular rebounder trampoline, because the 4 cords or the 3 cords, you have to open the trampoline, the rebounder. Now, when I unboxed my 3-cord, I did show real quickly, I just did it while I was unboxing. I put the trampoline together, and I don't know if it was detailed enough. So I'm going to save this trampoline aside, and I'm going to make a separate video on how to open the 4-cord or 3-cord trampoline, because I know people have been having problems with it. And I don't think it has to be as difficult. I think it could be, I mean, it's not easy peasy, but I think it could be, you know, relatively, it's definitely manageable, is what I'm trying to say. I just don't want to offend anybody who thought it was hard, but I think there's a way that we can make it easier. So that's what I want to do in that other video. Everything is really taped on, so this is how you can tell that this is not a refurbished unit. In the refurbished units, they kind of set things in here very nicely. They package it very nicely, especially if you go through the seller. I can't speak for everybody, but for the seller that we buy from, they package it very nicely, but it's not all taped into the unit like that, but this one is, because it's brand new. Beautiful. So these are the shoulder pads, and I'm going to set these over here to the side because I don't need them yet, and I don't have to keep moving them around. Alright, so this is the 358, and so the 356, 357, and 358 models are the AeroPilates Plus. They have the plush handles, and what they also have is a pull-up bar included. That can be up to like a $50 value. They range from $40 to $50 depending on your seller. So that is a great value for this box. We put a pull-up bar together in another video, but I will put that one together too, so you can see. And the tow bar. It's wrapped very nicely to protect it. They always put styrofoam on the side to really protect it. And, your DVD packet, and your instruction booklet, your wall chart. Let's see. Yeah, that's everything out of there. All right. So I'm going to scoot this back a little so I can cut these sides. I'm hoping this will be easier. I mean, really, I'm so not coordinated, it could end up being a disaster, but I'm just going to cut the corner. And I have some good scissors, but they're not anything special. They're just Westcott titanium. I don't know. Good enough. They cut really well, but I've never, sliced my finger or anything. Okay, so I just cut both sides of the corner, and now this can be laid flat. We're gonna see how this works. So again, before I put it on the edge and I lifted it up, so I really had to use the strength to lift it up, and I'm just gonna try to slide it out. I think I thought before you would need more space for this, but you really don't need much more space than to stand it up. The sliding out option I think is a really good option, as long as you don't want to keep your box for something. Around, I get the box out of the way, and then we will continue the build. Okay, with the box clear and the machine turned around so that you can see what's going on, we're going to get started with the build. There is like a, I never know what to call this, but there's like a double-sided screw, or like a, yeah, I have no idea what to call it. Double-sided screw here that's soldered onto the machine, and that is where your wheels are going to go. So I'm going to open this pack. Another thing nice about this cardboard is I can kind of dump everything out on there. You should have 6 normal washers. They will not have a curve in them, and those are going to be for the wheels. And you take 2 of those washers and you put it onto one side first before the wheel. And that's that double-sided screw thing with the threads. And then you're going to take the next 2 washers, put them on the other side of the threads, and then you're going to pop on the wheel. So it goes 2 washers each side, and then the wheel each side, and then your final washer. These are normal washers. You stick them onto the end of the wheel, and then you have your nuts, which we're going to finger tighten right now, and get them on the machine. Okay. So 2 ways that you can tighten this machine. These nuts that we just put on to secure the wheels, is you can use this guy as a wrench. This is the tool that comes with it. Oh, and it doesn't have, oh yeah, it does. I thought I was missing this tool. This is my favorite tool. So these 2 tools come with every AeroPilates that I've ever opened, including a really old 3-cord reformer. It has a crimped ratchet side, which you don't actually use for this model. So maybe it's for a different model and they just make these tools standard. And then you have like a more flush side, and that's the side that we're going to use. Or like I said, you can use this as a wrench. If you're using it as a wrench, you just pick it on and tighten it. Just make sure you're going the right way, because that was not it. Righty tighty. You're going to take it off every time and put it back on and tighten it. And it has the curve on the top here, so that makes it a little easier to get into that angle. However, if you have like a ratchet set, that would really be better used right here. But you can keep going and tighten it. Start up at the top, hook it on, and tighten it down. And I'm not going to use the wrench anymore. I just wanted to show you in case that's what you prefer. But I really like this little tool. So I'm going to stick that on there, and I actually, with my fist, I can tighten it first. A few twists. And then, if that's not tight enough, which is getting close, but I'm just going to show you in case it's not tight enough. This screwdriver can actually stick into this tool. There's a hole there, and it'll stick in there, and that'll give you some grip for your twisting. So now I put it on, and I'm just going to use the screwdriver to pull it down. And it's actually pretty easy. This is a pretty handy tool. It gives you that grip for the twisting, and you just put it up every time, push it down. And you're gonna have to check your wheel the whole time, make sure that it's still rolling. I've tightened these too tight where the wheel was like stuck, and you don't wanna do that. So as long as you've done a few, I didn't count, but however many I just did, it was perfect. The wheel still rolls, and I'm gonna go to the other side. So because I started, on the top on this side and went down, I'll be starting on the bottom, righty-tighty on this side, as if I was over there, which I'm not. And I'm gonna go up. And actually I forgot, I first hand tighten it. Yeah, I'm not as good at this angle as I am with the other one. So, and now we're just gonna keep twisting it up, put it down, hook it on, twist it up. And you just do that. You wanna see the thread tip, where the threads are a little bit, and then you just want to remember to check your wheel. You don't even want it to be any friction at all on that wheel. You want it to roll. See, now that I just tightened it too much, it doesn't roll freely. So I'm going to unloosen it until I hear that noise. So now the wheels are both spinnable. They're very fluid, so they'll be easy to roll up your machine. And we're completely done with that part of the build. Now we're going to open up the machine into a V, but first you have to stand it on its side. We're going to open it up into a V, and we're going to have a look at putting the feet on. The only thing you might want to check, it looks like this one's not hooked up. There is a cord that sometimes can hook the AeroPilates together here, where it won't open up, and so that would be a problem if you're standing on its side to open it up. So if you can see in here, I'm going to rip this guy, it's already ripped. I forgot to take out the end caps earlier. So here are the end caps. They're usually down in here with the cords. So just go ahead and grab them out and set them aside for later. It's going to be sooner than you think. And then I'm also going to finish stripping this just so when it's on its side, I can more easily get it off. I hope you can hear me over that. Okay. So I checked to make sure the pin, oh here's the pin. So I was making sure that this was not placed in to lock the machine. Instead I'm going to place it on the same side that it's attached. So now I can open this machine really wide, which is what I'm going to need to do once I have it standing up. And I'm going to go ahead and stand it up. The pin just fell out, that's hilarious. Well, I'll set it in the truck for now. So it's on its side, and now I'm going to open it up. So what you're hearing is like the straps falling. Okay. So maybe you can see that. Now while I'm right here, I have this styrofoam that's sticking out. I'm just going to take it off. And I don't know if you noticed, so I'll wait till we flip it over. The headrest has some cardboard that we also take out. So we have the feet right here, and they are ready to go in. They have the screw on the top there, and I usually hand tighten these first. If you get a refurbished or return unit, see how well that's going in. This is a new unit, you can tell. If you get a return or refurbished unit, they may not screw in quite that well with your hand. And no matter what your unit is, you will eventually have to grab the Phillips side of the screwdriver. Really line it up with the hole, or with the slats, whatever you want to call them. Make sure it's, take that extra time to line it up. It's going to go quicker in the long run. And I'm just applying pressure while I screw the rest of the foot in. If you slip and lose the grip, go ahead and take a second to get it back down, or get it back in. If you have your own screwdriver, because they have that round knobs on the end, they're kind of easier to keep this going. So it might be worth it to grab your own screwdriver if you have it. And if you don't, I have put every single one together with this screwdriver. So So I think it's in. I'm just going to take, yep, one more. Okay. I just wanted to make sure it was really in. So now we're doing the next one. And I'm hand tightening it in. I love that. If you saw any of my other builds, they just would not do that. But this is what it will do with the new unit. Beautiful, beautiful. And now I'm just tightening it with the screwdriver because no matter what, you want it really tight on there. I'm pushing down on the screwdriver while I turn it. I'm sure you know that, just in case you don't. And you would probably be on the inside of your machine. I'm kind of leaning over so you can see what's going on. But whatever area to sit is comfortable for you, that's what you should do. I'm going to scoop this in so I can get closer. We're going to start hand tightening these guys. So nice. Okay. Just applying pressure, turning it in. There we go. You see the tighten. And my last one. And so, you know, you guys can see that this is going pretty quickly. This is, now especially since I can hand tighten them, it might go a little slower if you can't stick it in there hand tighten. Let me see this one. This one might be a problem. Oh, no, it's gonna go. So nice, so nice. Okay, and now I'm just gonna tighten it with the screwdriver. So as I was saying, if you don't have to if you can't hand tighten because of for whatever reason, you just hook it onto the screwdriver, get the grip, and screw it in. Get the grip. This is not a recommended angle. There we go. Got the grip, applying pressure, screwing it in. Okay, and that is the actual longest part of the build, are these 4 feet. So once you have everything to the side, the build can actually go really quickly. We did the wheels probably in a couple minutes. We had the 4 feet. That took a little longer just because of the screwing in. And now we're ready to continue our build. So I'm just gonna push the straps through to this front because that's where I'm gonna end up. So I'm getting them over there. This part can be a little tricky. You just have to be careful with it. I'm gonna scoot back. And all I'm gonna do now is swing the machine open until it's straight, and then I'm gonna tip it down. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. And I have it on that cardboard, so I'm gonna scoot it as I need. If you have more space or you're not trying to stay in camera frame, you'll have a little bit of an easier time with this. But just bear with me. They do have a video of this on Stamina Fitness YouTube, and they make it look so easy. And it really can be. Maybe if you're a little more coordinated than me. All right. And we're gonna lay it down. Okay. So I'm gonna move all this garbage out of the way so that we can continue the build. And that's like part of the time too, is just getting things out of the way. But the actual build is very quick, what you have to do for this machine. You can see this beautiful pattern. I love this pattern. Everything is cleared out of the way. So now we're ready to continue our build. I wanted to show you some of the pieces real quickly. You have 4 of these types of screws. They're like knobs with some threads at the bottom. 2 of those are for if you want to screw in your cardio rebounder while you're using it, which I never do. If you've ever seen Marjolaine Brugman on HSN or QVC, she does not do it either because it's time consuming. But if you feel more comfortable with that, you absolutely can. I have never had a problem with my rebounder or tow bar not being secure enough. So I just really set these aside in a drawer. The other 2 are going to be used to do the pulley risers, or in this case, the pull-up bar, and they're going to screw those in at the bottom there. So now I'm going to show you the trampoline. Because this is a 4-quart reformer, I have to put the trampoline together. And they've actually made a new version of this that I've never seen, but it's similar still. And you have these little plastic pieces that you're eventually going to have to screw on. Oh, the screws you use for the trampoline I'm going to show you up close, but they have threads at the end, and then they have, you know, just a smooth top. Where the screws for the pull-up bar are all the way threaded down. Okay, so you have 2 pull-up bar screws all the way threaded down. You're going to have 2 curved washers for the pull-up bar. And that's what you're going to need with this Allen wrench or hex tool. That's all you're going to use right here for the pull-up bar. You have 2 screws, threads all the way to the top, 2 curved washers, and a hex. For the rebounder, you have these 2 plastic pieces, 2 curved washers also, 2 screws with threads at the bottom, smooth at the top. I'm going to set these over here. So 2 plastic pieces, 2 screws with the threads at the bottom, smooth at the top, 2 curved washers, and then these are 2 knobs without any threads at the end, but they are the ones that you twist onto the threads. So what it's eventually going to look like around your rebounder, I'm not exactly sure where the washer goes, I'll look that up, but you would have the pieces like this, your rebounder is going to be in the middle, this knob's going to turn on, and it's going to hold your rebounder together. Okay, so we'll do that in a different video, but I just wanted to show you what is used for what. So I'm going to set all the rebounder stuff to the side right now. I'm also going to set the 2 extra screws that I'm not going to use for the footboard to the side. Alright, so we opened our shoulder pads earlier and they pop right in. Oh, the other one rolled. Okay, those are in. Oh, and actually, one right here, let me show you. This is the cardboard I was talking about earlier for the headrest, and it has a rubber band around it to support it, and you just pull it out. And the rubber band is down around the bottom of this adjustable head part, so you just take that out. Oops. And now we have the end caps. If you've seen my other videos, I went into a really long explanation about the end caps, and I really shouldn't have, I needn't have, but I just want to show you here. And if you have 2 middle cutouts, which are like square archways, those are going to go around the wheels. So they're going to go towards the outside of the machine, facing the wall, or whatever's over there, that's a door. And then the caution sticker is going to be facing the headrest. So see the caution sticker? It's going to face this guy, all right? So you can read it while you're working out, okay? And then the second end cap, you're just going to look for the holes to line up. That's the easy way. And I went into this spiel about the shape of the arches, which if you want to know if you can relate to that better, the curved arches go out away from the machine, the square arches go on the rails, okay? But all you really have to do also is look at the hole alignment, because you can see at the end caps or the ends of the AeroPilates that the holes are closer to the bottom and they have this space on top, so you just match the end cap up with that. Now the end cap has a sticky piece right here, and it's a double-sided sticky type, it's not tape, but it's like that. So you have to pull off the backing so that the sticky is exposed. So I'm going to do that twice. Pull off the backing, the sticky is exposed. Caution sticker, the head's going to be able to look at it, and pop it on. The only other thing that I do is, because I misaligned it once, is I put my fingers in the hole so that they can stay aligned. Okay, now if you want to check and make sure that you got your holes aligned correctly, you can grab your tow bar. This is like a snake skin. You could cut it off, but I just pull it around. It might rip easily. No, probably not. So I'm just gonna pull it around and pull it off. And I'm gonna pop it in and make sure that it's aligned. And there you go. So one time I put the holes, I taped it on crooked and the tow bar wouldn't go in, so I had to rip it back up and place it again. That end cap has a little trouble staying on right now. So taking off this the backing for the sticky tape, and it's ready to go on. I'm gonna line it up with the holes. The holes are near the bottom. The holes are near the bottom here. I'm gonna put my fingers in there to make sure, and then you can push down once you see that the holes are aligned. And again, if you want to test, grab your foot bar and pop it in. Now obviously the tow bar is not going to go at the head. Okay, so we're really close to being done. Now in this unit, because we have a pull-up bar, it is a little of an extra step. But if you're building the pull-up bar onto the unit, I'm going to show you a quick way to do it. Your pull-up bar comes in 3 bars. Let's see. I'm just ripping the top here of the wider side so that I can slide it out. When I've gotten these in the past, I cut all this stuff off and it takes forever, makes a big mess. So I recently realized if you just open the top, you can slide it right out. And this one is already open, but this one is a little more secure, so it's probably not going to slide out as well. So I'm going to have to cut some of this. At least to get this cardboard loose. And obviously you want to be careful when you're cutting. You don't want to actually cut the foam. That would be a huge bummer. So I slid that one off. That one slid right off, which is nice. I cut this one off because it was really tight, and now I'm still gonna pull my bar out. Very nice. So the pull bar comes in 3 pieces, but these bottom pieces, these shorter pieces, act like pulley risers. You're gonna see a hole in the bottom here, so that's gonna align with the back, so that this screw will go in like this through the curved arches that are down here. So I'm gonna pop that in, and I'm gonna screw it in just like it was a pulley riser. And really, like, you can just feel around for that. I've never had to actually get down there and try to find that hole. It really goes in there very well. Okay, I'm gonna do this one. Yeah, put right in. So for this part of the pull-up bar, this is a cross brace, and it doesn't matter which side is up or down, but you do need to know, because this is a smaller frame, this is a 4-cord. If it was a bigger frame 5-cord or a bigger 4-cord, you would use these outside holes. But since it's a smaller frame and a 4-cord, I'm going to use these inner holes. And you'll be able to tell that easily. If you put those in first, it's going to show you already that you need to use those smaller holes. Okay, so I'm putting that screw in. The curved washer, I'm making sure it hugs the bar. Can you guys see that? I'm finger tightening at first. And I just lifted it to check, like, you know, if I was even aligned, if it wasn't catching. So, and I'll finger tighten quite a ways. Then I'm going to do the other side. Lift it and make sure I'm going to be aligned. Finger tighten. And then when I get to a certain point, I have my hex tool. If you get a good grip on your hex tool, you could just be turning it around. And you want to get that a good tighten. Okay. You want it to have support when you're doing the pull-ups. And so again, I'm just going to turn it around. Okay, that's a nice and tight pull-up bar. We're almost done with our machine. So the next part I'm going to do is put the straps onto the pull-up bar, and then our machine is put together, except for the rebounder, which, like I said, I'll do in a different video. so that you can see it. Okay, so that strap is free. One rubber band comes very easily off. The other one has to be cut, or I've ripped it in the past, but hopefully, you know, I have my scissors with me. Hopefully you have those near you and you can still cut. So now you can see on this piece that there's a curved section there. And that curved section hugs the back of the pull-up bar. So I'm going to take that curved section around. I'm going to kind of hook it around like that. So you see? So let's see. If I'm the bar, I'm going to hook it in, turn it around like that. Okay? So what you're going to have at the end, from the inside, this straight part is going to be going through the holes. And the curved part is going to be hugging the back of the pull-up bar. So I'm going to switch it around. Use two hands. Okay, so now the curved part is hugging the back, and the straight part is going from the inside to the outside of the pull-up bar. Next strap. I'm just going to cut these both. Don't cut your straps. That would be a big bummer. Do not cut your straps. Be very careful. Okay. Now we have the second. These are called the pulley hooks. And so again, we have the curved section, and then we have the straight section. The straight section again is going to go from the inside and come to the outside, and the curved bar is going to hug the back of the pull bar. So we're going to put that on. You kind of twirl it around, and it hooks right on. Okay. I always put my handles onto the shoulder straps here. And we are going to pull this down. I'm going to pop the cord. And this is ready to go, as it is. Now, the only thing you might want to do is change your strap length. And this is a relatively easy way to change your strap length. But the first thing you're going to want to check is if your D-rings are lined up. So the D-rings are slightly not the same length. This one has like, I would say like 1/4 of an inch or less is further forward. So all that means is I'm going to make this strap a tiny bit smaller than, this handle a tiny bit smaller than this handle. But let me show you how to adjust the handles real quickly. You have this comfy, furry handle strap. And then when you open it, you have like so much space here to work with. You can make it really big. I don't know, you can put that around your waist, but don't. But if you want to do it around your knees, there's some exercises you can do around your knees. You can make it big enough. And then you can make it smaller depending on what your needs are. And I like mine to just barely hug the shoulder support, like that. It's like discolored. Barely hug the shoulder support like that. And because, remember I said this one is a tiny bit longer from the D-ring to the D-ring, they don't align completely, I'm going to make this strap slightly smaller, just slightly. But it's still going to actually hug. And so really, you don't have to pay attention to the D-ring. I'm just saying that in case you really want them even, and you could re-knot it here at the D-ring if you wanted to do that to adjust the strap. But what I really pay attention to is where it is here on the shoulder pad, or the shoulder support. And what you can pay attention to is you can actually sit on the machine, face the pull-up bar, and figure out where you need your straps to be. But, so that one's going to have to be a little shorter to make it even. And there you go. So now if I pull them both to the middle, they're going to be about even. Now when you do your arm and leg workout exercises, you're going to absolutely feel if one's just slightly tighter or slightly looser, and you can just take the Velcro and adjust it. Let's say it was just like a 1/2 inch too tight, I would make it a 1/2 inch. I put my finger where it was, and I just move it down 1/2 inch from where my finger was, and I un-Velcro it all the way down to get it even. But I'm going to put it back because that's where I want it. And then if it's the other way, if it needs to be slightly tighter, just mark it with your finger and get it to where you need it. And it might take, I don't know, a day or so to get the straps exactly where you want them and perfectly even. But once you do it, you will be ready to go, and you will be on your way to a more balanced body and honestly, less pain, which has been my experience, as well as weight loss has been my experience. I mean, obviously there's more to go, but I have lost weight. I have lost 2 sizes. My mother has lost 20 inches all over her body, and it's from everywhere. It's from her neck, it's from her arms, it's from her under, her bust line, her waist, her thighs. So you will lose everywhere. This machine works everything. It's amazing. So let me know if you have any questions about this build, but this machine is pretty quick to put together. Once you get everything aside and cut out, that's what's time consuming. And then the longest part of the build, in this case, could have been a cross between the pull-up bar and the 4 feet. I always think the 4 feet is the longest. It maybe just feels the longest because it's, you know, you have to screw 4 things in. So yeah, it probably was longer than the pull-up bar. In this case, the pull-up bar took a little more time. You would have before just done the pulley risers if you have most other machines, not any other, but most other machines. And you're ready to go. It's pretty quick, it's pretty simple. I'm tired from the day, but not from just that experience. And this would be a great reward to get on here and do some stretches and get a little balanced in my body after that put together. So put yours together, get on it, use it, enjoy it, make your family members use it. They will love it. They will love how their bodies are starting to feel after they've used it a few times. You will definitely tell a difference. If you are faithful to use it, you will tell a difference and you will be grateful that you did. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Sure. All right, thanks for joining me, guys. Bye.